change is at the heart of what you are. Change into what? That's the question.
Oh no, I know Hamlet. And what he might say with irony, I say with conviction. What a piece of work is man. How noble in reason, how infinite in faculty, in form, in moving, how express and admirable, in action, how like an angel, in apprehension, how like a god.
Ah, the redoubtable Commander Riker, whom I noticed before. I have given you the power of the Q. Use it.
But to become a part of you, I don't even like you.
I should have never made that agreement with you. I could have saved that child.
The Q has muddled your mind.
Star Trek The Next Generation was a show that everybody I interacted with seriously as a kid knew. My parents knew this show, my teachers knew this show, my friends knew this show. Star Trek The Next Generation was truly a community to me. It ran from when I was 5 to when I was 12.
Welcome to Next Generation's First Generation, where Patrick Delmore and Sascha Schaudies take a look back into their favorite childhood show, Star Trek The Next Generation. This is where we attempt to reconcile how we felt as children watching the show and looking back as old farts now in our late 30s, almost 40s. Oh, I almost forgot. This is a watch-along podcast, so make sure to queue up your favorite DVD or Netflix, and we'll give you the countdown of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to basically watch along with the episode.
Welcome to a very special episode of Next Generation's First Generation. We have our biggest crowd we have yet. We've got me, Patrick Delmore, my co-host, Sascha Schaudies.
Hello!
We have back again after Encounter at Farpoint is Mrs. Sascha, and frequent contributor and the creator of a lot of the content you see on our website, Matt.
Yay, Matt!
But our most special guest tonight is the winner of our super secret Jumble contest, who goes the only one to get the correct answer of Worf, who won a slot on here as a guest commentator and 10 pounds of Jelly Bellies. So,
wow.
Yep, he is just munching away down there.
I think he's
I'm
passed
sorry,
out.
I'm cracking up. This guy's mouth is full of candy. Anyway, the episode tonight is Hide a Q, and we're...
Which flavor? Green apple.
Oh.
Red cherry.
He can't. I don't think he can answer you. His eyes are dilated and crossed. It's...
For medical purposes, we are not going to allow him to speak very much.
Yeah.
Okay.
But let's get into it.
Okay, so this episode is called Hide and Q. So please queue up along on your DVD or Netflix. And we're going to give you the countdown of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Captain's log, stardate 415.
There's the Enterprise warping through space. They're in a big hurry. We are watching this on a television that is full, 1080p? And it looks beautiful. This is
You
on...
can reach out and touch Riker's nipples.
It reminds me of watching old DVDs from Great Britain with that higher frame rate there. It just looks really crisp. The colors are blue, the reds are red.
Dr. Crusher, this is the captain.
And the McDonald's walls, I like to call it. If you were to do McDonald's in the late 80s, that is what the walls look like.
There is my favorite security guy walking across in the background.
9.1, sir. Which will bring us to the...
No, not yet. I still haven't looked up his name
Yeah, we'll
yet.
give it a shot. Those are early days yet. I mean...
There's a lot of scalp shine going on. Everybody is looking super greasy today. Oh, red alert. What's going on?
Oh, it is, yeah. Picard has been into the Shino Ball.
Whoa, it's the chainmail in space. The
Is that
Q force.
chainmail in every episode?
No, I think only in this one and one other one.
Okay.
So that is true to Q in the first couple of episodes. Oh man, Denise Crosby's looking pretty good. Her hair's on fleek. I think they stole that footage just from the.
Probably from the first episode.
Yeah, it looks exactly the same.
Oh, there's a
Now
disco on the bridge.
It's the bizarre serpent. Oh, here comes the warp
Warp
jump.
jump! Oh, he can.
Coordination.
Nobody jumps over a console and points his gun like Worf.
Klingons got hot.
Oh, what does Q want?
Perhaps the realization of your most impossible dream.
He's trying to figure something out. Boy, that disco ball light's so distracting.
It's like a J.J. Abrams episode.
Maybe that's where he got the inspiration. He just watched this over and over.
Great
and over again.
if Picard just decided to recite the lyrics to the Impossible Dream from Man of the Launcher. To dream, an impossible dream. To fight, the unbeatable foe.
Okay, so opening credits. So this is Season 1, Episode 10, directed by Cliff Boyle. Story by C.J. Holland. And the teleplay is also by Holland and Roddenberry, of course. We noticed a lot that Roddenberry would look at somebody's script and vote to rewrite. We saw a lot of that. Featured music by Dennis McCarthy. Cinematography by Edward R. Brown. This was, the original air date was November 23rd, 1987. So that would have put me at just before Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah.
At 8 years old. So I was hearing all about who was going to eat at whose house when.
That was way back when I still thought that Thanksgiving meant going to the mess hall.
Ha!
Because I was a military brat. Yeah.
Yeah, so everybody would go to the mess hall. That was just the thing to do.
Yeah.
How old were you, Patrick?
I was 5, so I was probably going to my late grandmother's for Thanksgiving, or my aunt and uncle in Renton.
And
Renton is somewhere in the state of Washington where I live.
oh,
That's gonna fall flat if you.
so Mr. Patrick, how old were you when this came out?
I was a little 5-year-old guy.
And then Mr. Matt, that's what I meant to say. I got my Patricks and Matts mixed up.
He was
I
almost
have
5.
no idea. I existed, that's all I know.
He was almost 5.
And our candy bear, he's passed out on the floor. He's holding up six figures, people. And he's fallen back unconscious on the floor from the jelly beans. Hiding Q. You know, that's a really cool chainmail wave effect that they do. I do have to say that the CGI, it's not the best, but they
Hug yourself,
He's
Riker.
got Caesar hair again.
Maybe his armpits stink and he's self-conscious.
What is that his default hair?
Which one? Q?
Q.
It changes.
Okay.
He had a really nice Caesar-like haircut the last time we saw him. I wish
Right.
they did that again.
We went on our way to help some suffering and dying humans who...
So,
Suffering and dying fat.
the real writer is Maurice Hurley, and he requested that he be credited under the pseudonym of C.J. Holland and protest against Roddenberry's rewrites.
Huh.
So he was so unhappy with the rewrites, he wanted a different name.
This isn't a great episode, but it's a memorable episode. It sticks in your craw after you watch it.
Well, it is a Wesley gets killed episode.
It is.
Yeah, he dies.
Reminds me,
And does he come back to life then?
Of course, it's Star Trek.
Come, Picard, why do you distrust me so?
Does he regenerate? What does he do?
We just pretend it didn't happen.
Through the science of Q, because there's no magic in this universe, but there is scientific magical powers. I don't know what.
scientific magical powers.
Yeah, Q is just. I don't understand how he fits in this universe, but he does.
Well, he's playing on a higher level,
Yeah, he's
which should really fascinate Picard. But Picard is more into people like the Traveler, who are quiet about it.
Yeah.
Or,
he's
you know,
getting sad.
to
He's
Picard,
feeling-
Picard. Basically, if well, actually, we saw it in Lonely Among Us, where Picard met a higher intelligence and was like, "I'm just going to join it and live apart."
There you go.
So it really, like I said before, this episode gets in your craw, because what is up with Riker's hair here? He's got a hairpiece or something. They did reshoots and the barber but
it kind of looks like a wig was put on the wrong way.
It's weird. I just now noticed that only 2 people have little hidden.
Yeah, so we talked about that in previous episodes. So there's 3 uniforms. There's the onesie, there's the zipper in the front, and then there's the zipper in the back. And those last 2 are 2 pieces.
Okay.
And then you also have the unisex leotard, which we don't see enough of, in my opinion.
It's called a merce.
A merce. So we talked right over the plot, and Q has challenged the crew to something. He wants them to participate, and they've been whisked away to an alien planet. It looks, though, as Picard has been left behind. And this is a little spoiler here. This is a Riker-centric episode too. When Picard's on his bridge, he's stuck. He can't do anything. He can't talk to people. He can't order tea.
That bridge looks really small there.
Yeah,
it looks very symmetrical. It almost looked like it was matte painted behind him in that last shot.
Jem, you know what? This would look better with a fisheye lens.
Everything's better with a fisheye lens.
So one thing I wanted to talk about was Q. And I brought up the question a few minutes ago of how do his powers work in Star Trek. And the other night I was watching a YouTube video of the 10 known dimensions that we have. And by known dimensions, I mean these are things that people have... mathematically plotted out. And what is interesting is, if you remember the example of the Flatlanders, a 2-dimensional person their minds would be blown with a 3-dimensional object moving around because it would appear to be like magic. So I could see and anticipate that Q is operating on a different dimension where he can connect points that are inconceivably connected by our standards. And so that's the only way I could really explain his powers.
But he knows all about us 3-dimensional beings and is able to be extremely exploitative.
Yeah.
And again,
we know about 2-dimensional surfaces, and we can engage with those. Yeah. So.
Can I just say how non-realistic this stage looks on high def? Everything looks...
It looked non-realistic on non-high def.
It looks like a Doctor Who episode. If you remove the uniforms and put a couple of people running back and forth and the stage wobbling a little bit, you'd have it. But the colors are great.
Everything is the 19th. Everything is the 19th century with these characters.
So did we establish who Q is supposed to be here because he has the funkiest hat on?
He's a French field marshal
with a red, white, and blue feather duster in his hat.
Yep.
Yeah. Red, white, or what is French? Blue, white.
Worf is such a badass.
Yes.
Blue, red, and white. I think are the French colors.
Never drink with thine enemy.
Hey, he upgraded his burlap sack.
On code. Explain something of why.
Yeah, so they went through a lot of different changes with Worf, even in the first season. You'll notice change in makeup tone, the actual shape and size of his prosthetics on the skull of the actor there.
Yeah.
They really spent a lot of time refining that actor. You'll notice that in a lot of Trek. Like if you remember in Deep Space Nine, you have Odo looks completely different in the first couple of episodes versus the last couple of episodes of the season.
So what are you discussing there? Because I have no idea.
The rules of this game that they're going to be playing.
Oh, okay.
Should note, if going back to Worf for a minute, the sash he wears is actually the same sash
for a game that we will play. Now, games require
Core wore in the original series.
Is that right? Huh.
Core wore it over the the other shoulder though.
Data. This is from Europe's Napoleonic era, sir. Late 18th, early 19th centuries. This is a campaign.
I'm surprised it took him that long to get.
His uniform is that of a French army marshal. And a marshal outranks even an admiral. Well, do you think I would go from a Starfleet admiral to anything else?
He's not Star Trek.
One's so different.
He's not,
it has twin
Starfleet.
moons.
No,
Q?
he usually appears in a command uniform.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Yeah, he
Q's,
never appears in anything below Admiral.
Q is all about establishing dominance. So if he was in a room full of ensigns, he would be wearing a lieutenant commander outfit.
So he wants to be just above them?
Yeah,
Or, okay.
yeah. He wants to basically say, I'm directly in charge
If
of
we
you.
must play a game, what would we win?
The greatest possible future that you could imagine.
So they're
The greatest
discussing
possible future that you can imagine.
they're discussing a wager. And if they win, Riker gets something great.
So what kind of game are they playing?
It's a death match. I mean, that's Star Trek. It's
Yeah.
if you can stay alive, you're good. And which is interesting because they disposed of the red shirt rule. So now anybody can die.
Think of it as like the
Wow, acting.
Okay.
Think of it like it's the human chess games that they used to play back
So-
in the medieval era.
So I've suggested
Like in
this
Harry
before, and I'm going to bring this up again here in a minute with Tasha. Let's see what the room thinks of this.
Oh, this will be a really good crowd to ask, Patrick.
So Tasha has been sent to the penalty box, which is going to turn out that it's the shit. Picard is going to be very nice to her, and because she's really upset. And after Picard is kind to her and says, you can be upset and cry on the bridge as long as it's a penalty box, she basically switches tags to, oh my, if you weren't the captain, I would. And we know.
I would what? I would bone you?
Yeah.
We wonder about that.
And we know, because her history is that she's from a planet where basically.
No consent.
Yeah.
Wait. Tasha's not human.
No, she's not. She's humanoid.
I didn't know that.
We never identify the name of her species, but her origin story is she is from an anarchy planet with rape gangs.
Well, no, she's human. She's from a human colony. Because they
But-
refer to her daughter, future on in the future episodes, as being half human, half Romulan.
But the idea is this a defense tactic? Is her coming on to the captain something that she felt that she needed to do?
Well, here it is. We can hear her say it for herself, so we're going to be quite sure for just a moment.
I know that one more penalty by anyone, and I'm gone.
So she's dead.
Yes, I am gone.
She will be dead if anybody screws up. She's freaking out.
So frustrating to be controlled like this.
Captain
Lieutenant.
reassures her.
Tasha, it's all right.
What in the hell am I doing? Crying?
It's okay, you're not playing
Come on.
baseball.
Oh, here it
New
comes.
ship standing order on the bridge. When one is in the penalty box, tears are permitted.
Oh, look at that coy smile.
Oh, yeah, that's flirty.
Now,
right there.
but what she actually said.
Oh, if you weren't a captain.
What?
Wow!
And Q calls her on it too. Consorting with lower ranks? What's wrong with you?
But then again, you're what? You're only human.
You're what?
Only human.
Oh.
So he lifts the penalty. So Q does have some feelings. See, that's the thing. I never understood Q's compassion. It's kind of like a nature tough love rather than a nurture.
I think he has actual mercy. I mean, that was when he put them on trial because they were barbarians.
Right.
So mercy is something Q does appreciate.
He puts him on trial, but he always gives him the option of a way out.
Yeah.
Is that just kind of his setup and his thing anyway? Is that consistent through the entire series? He tries to prove how stupid humans are?
The only time he doesn't is Q when he introduces the Borg. And Picard asks him, "Are you going to bring back the crew members I lost?" And he says no.
Oh.
So Q is... My opinion on Q is that he has an interest in humanity and he wants to push them in the right direction rather than let the development occur naturally. Because every time he interferes, it's either because he's interested in one particular person or there's a circumstance in the plot that he needs to be there.
So he's basically interested in social experiments.
Yeah, I think of him as a friendly Nagilum, which I don't think we've done that.
No, we haven't gotten to Nagilum
Yeah, I
yet.
was like, I don't know what a Nagilum
The game, the game with Q is.
We had them, sir.
I'm pretty sure you're going to do this one thing. Prove me wrong.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he does have a lot of baiting behavior. Like he sets the trap for you to do something barbaric.
Yes.
And your goal is to outthink the trap.
But he doesn't actually want you to do the barbaric.
I've always suspected that the Q Continuum was just going to wipe humanity out, and Q was the only one to say, well, I kind of...
What
like,
is
like a TV, like an executive who has a TV show he likes and is like, well, I kind of like the show, so they're like, fine, now you're in charge of humanity.
Oh, geez.
Make sure they don't fuck up the galaxy.
Show me what you've got.
Pretty much something like that. They're like, you know what? You're in charge, so if they screw up and destroy the galaxy, it's on you.
Yeah.
We've washed our hands with it, so he basically has to now, all right, well, I'm, like you said, I'm in charge, so I got to make sure you don't do it. But in his own nature, he's just like, I'm going to do it, but I don't want to let them know that I like them or I'm responsible for them. I'm going to be the guy behind the scenes making sure you don't screw things up for me and, the universe.
I mean, it's frustrating because if he is truly omnipotent, it means that he actually does know everything that they're going to do. So when they do make, a choice that he doesn't agree with, it totally frustrates him because he exists in a dimension of space where everything is already predetermined.
Galaxy. How about this?
By the way, I just want to say this is the start of many great Picard speeches right here.
Threats his hour upon us.
Is he still good? Is he still kind of a jackass, or has he turned into
It is a
Borg yet
tale
and
told.
become good?
No, he's this. We are way behind the Borg. He's still learning who he is. So right here, Q is quoting Shakespeare to him. And this is kind of a hoodwink because Stewart is a Shakespearean actor.
Yeah.
And so he's like, Shakespeare? I knew Shakespeare. And he out-Shakespeares an omnipotent being, which I find hilarious.
I know Hamlet. And what he might say with irony, I say with conviction.
He played Hamlet, didn't he?
And this is right here, I think, the first real acting we see from Patrick Stewart. It only took him, 9, 10 episodes?
Yeah.
I mean, real acting.
No, like...
He's like
Or he's not being a hammy.
It's
Oh,
convincing
okay.
A hammy
acting.
ham.
Like, you can see the passion and the drive. It's not just, fire phasers, open hailing frequencies, scan that thing.
Yeah, because he's reciting something he knows and understands.
and
As
he's
opposed to
done
being new to
many-
sci-fi and be like, do the thing where the things come out of the thing and they go whoosh.
And that's why, so I'm going through season 3 right now at home, and that's where he really starts opening up as a character, and you can see the feeling and what he's projecting. Right here, it just feels like he's reading lines.
Because it's more or less what he is he doesn't understand the show. He doesn't understand, let's say, the sci-fi, the mechanics, and, like you said, the character.
Held by gunpowder, 100 meters at best with any accuracy.
Look at Riker's confidence.
He's got his foot on the rock. He's comfortable.
Yes, 1 foot up.
He puts his foot on
He's like
everything.
doing everything to show Geordi that he's the bigger man.
Unless...
Well, the phasers still work.
Kaboom!
Here comes
Wow, that was
Worf.
realistic.
Drop your weapons.
Still got hops.
I'm afraid that was me, Worf. I was checking...
What
No,
do
for a
you...
trained
It was you,
warrior,
you
Worf,
bugged me.
Worf just does the craziest ass things. Warriors do not just bound out into the open going, huh! You're making a lot of noise, so all attention and weapons fire is now focused directly on me.
Failed.
Kind of reminds me of my dog when he hears a noise. Hur, hur, hur. What's going on? Here comes the strange animal things.
That's a scientific Starfleet term, too.
Yeah.
So did any of you guys watch this when it actually came out?
Not when it aired. I was probably
that's a great
teenager.
switch.
Yeah.
You know, he just does not do a good Data. It's pretty good, well done with the makeup, but
Which probably took forever just to do that. These couple of shots.
Whoa! Jump and roll.
Those aren't muskets.
Opening requirements as an actor on this show is how well you can jump and roll.
It's an animal thing in a French uniform,
I
and
was-
you're surprised that he's not using a real musket.
I was trying to figure all this stuff out.
Is that like some kind of hidden commentary on being Frenchist?
Use it.
Oh, so we missed something really important. Riker has the power of Q.
What?
Yes.
Yep.
How did that happen?
Q gave it to him.
Q just said, "You've got the power, and I use it."
Yeah, that's how Q operates. He literally just be like, "Oh, no, it's there."
But what's his
You
power?
got the touch.
What's Q's power?
Everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Oh.
He can literally do anything.
So he whisked the crew back to the ship. He's looking at his hand like,
Power!
"Dude, my hands.
I know.
They're
Q
so big."
Q develops a really cool way of doing things where he just snaps his fingers. Riker just kind of goes,
I can touch my hands can touch everything.
Maybe Riker's
but
like me and he can't
themselves.
snap.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there's Tasha chilling.
Yep.
Picard.
If you weren't captain.
So now those doors weren't operating a few minutes ago.
No, but, penalty box. That's
So in penalty box.
good as
is the
example
word.
as anything.
She looks so short in that station.
No, does somebody need to be at helm for this to work? Can she not do all of this from her station back there?
I've never seen the ship flown from that station back there.
Yeah, okay.
No, so those stations, if you were to believe it, are hardwired for certain areas. So security and communications.
Okay, because I was wondering about that. I was wondering what part of the bridge controlled what.
Yeah, and helm and navigation is the same station. We're supposedly now. And operations is the other one.
Everybody is nipping out. She's nipping out. Data's nipping out. It's the yellow uniform.
I think Data's like Crichton on Red Dwarf, where his nipples are nuts. like if you turn it hard enough, one of his eyes bulges out.
It's cold outside. There's
You know,
no
the yellow
kind of
uniforms do
atmosphere.
look tighter than the red ones.
Yeah. These are all zip up in the front uniforms.
See, that's what I was noticing, is that the only person that doesn't have a zip up in the
Something
front
to do with our
uniform is
first
you.
officer. And the reason for that...
Oh well, he was wearing a dress uniform. That's
with
why.
a little sash
Yeah,
around
it
the
was
neck?
it was
Okay.
a wraparound jacket.
Meanwhile, we must proceed
Double
with
breast,
rescue mission.
breasted jacket.
Where do they go?
Oh, he's drunk with power.
Yeah. Because
I can do literally anything, and all I want to do is sit on this rock and laugh.
This reminds me of a dream. I was practicing lucid dreaming, so I knew that if I could control my dreams, I could do whatever I wanted. And when the night finally happened, when I realized that I was awake in my dream, I jumped around, I flew, and that lasted for maybe about 5 or 10 minutes, and then I started playing video games. And I'm just like, really? That's the best I could do? And then, of course, once I started playing games in the dream, I lost the lucidity. And
What's so weird to me about lucid dreams, and I'll try to get off this tangent quickly, but is that, like, how I figure it out is, like, details of things. And I can, like, create, like, an incredibly detailed building in a dream, like just the facade of a building. But I can't draw to save my life. Yeah.
Well, drawing is more hand-eye coordination connected to thought.
Beyond all other gifts.
So they're just basically talking about, you have a gift, why aren't you happy? They're having bro talk, trying to figure out what's so important.
Turn to where we exist.
You're an ungrateful child. I give you everything.
Actually, they're saying right here how Farpoint caught the continuum's interest, and they want humanity to go in the right direction, so they figured, we'll adopt a human.
Until?
And we'll shape them.
And it would make sense with Kirk not being around anymore that Riker would be the guy they'd go to.
Riker was the Kirk in this show.
Yeah.
Till he grew that beard.
Then it was just the dad.
At Farpoint.
He's the wild trombonist.
We discovered instead that you are.
He's got a raging tromboner.
Do you find something funny about the word tromboner?
I will not be so limited.
The dialogue in these shows in the early season just always seemed really understimulating.
Yes, the human compulsion.
And unfortunately for us, it is a power which will grow stronger century after century, eon after eon.
How long is an eon? 1,000 years?
That's a millennium. An eon is a millennium. I think an eon is shorter than a millennium.
Even beyond us. So you see, we must know more about this human compulsion.
Eon Flux looks good in leather.
Because it's century, millennium, or millennia. I thought it was eon.
Need and hunger, that we may better understand.
Somebody's looking it up.
I suppose that's
Yeah.
a compliment.
Ooh, this came out on cassette July 1st, 1992. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Yep, that's where I saw most of the first season. I checked out from the library. This one I know that I did see on TV. I think I saw it at my grandparents the first time I saw it, and I was probably 9 or 10.
Okay, so what has happened here is that Riker has rejected Q. Q's angry, beams the entire cast back onto the planet, but for some reason Wesley's there and Crusher is not. Riker's got the walk of shame there.
Well,
he's so little.
Dr. Crusher is worried about, getting to those colonists that they're supposed to help out.
Yeah. So here they come.
Where's Q? If you have an answer to any of this...
Picard is angry at Riker. This is the few times where we see those two don't
Look
get
at the
along.
fuzzy wuzzies. Here they come. Fuzzy and wuzzy and...
It's a very well-used soundstage here. Known as Planet Hell. And they said the dirt always smelled like cat pee. Again, Worf, he's in for the charge, and he lets himself get bayoneted.
Ooh, evil Santa Claus.
Seriously, Wesley. Dumb kid.
And
he's
I dedicate this stabbing
and you're
to
gonna pull it out by
friend of the show, Aaron Henley. That bayonet in Wesley's gut is for you.
You did that.
Chainmail barrier. Oh, the cheese.
That's not all.
With my softball pitch throw.
Boy. I always like that weave in the shoulder of that sweater particularly.
That Wesley's wearing?
Yeah, that's my favorite Wesley outfit right there.
I'm sure they sell them.
No, I don't want one.
Oh.
Don't send me one.
Are you sure?
So Riker's looking pretty smug. In the early seasons of STNG, if something's different, it's to be feared. You are no longer with us if you are not following along what we thought you were. So Riker is going to receive some of this treatment here, is that he's been outed as a Q to the crew, and it's not going to go so well for him.
Out of any human's experience.
So here comes Riker.
Here comes Mr. Will Riker. Oh, look at him sit down.
What now?
He just
What is
opens
that?
his legs, sets his hands on the table, and falls.
Where is that Picard crystal?
Yeah, well, he's not at his desk. That's not Picard's desk, right?
Yeah, it is. That's his office.
It looks different.
Got to be close to immortality.
But he usually has it when he's at that desk facing the window, right?
So the theme of a humanoid gaining powers of a god, we see a lot of that in the original series.
Great temptation.
By the way.
Yeah, good old Gary Mitchell.
Are you worried that I won't be able to say no to it?
You tell me. Are you strong enough to refuse to use that power?
Oh, he's giving him the chastity lecture. You have the power, but now do you have the strength not to use it? That's not fair.
Yeah.
If he's got the power, why not?
Yeah.
The chastity, oh.
So,
yeah, it's like,
can you refrain and be normal? So basically, let's flip it up. If it was talking about sexuality, now that you have this, we challenge you not to acknowledge it, and that seems wrong.
it's like a...
This way, sir.
Oh, so they're on the planet now. That was the whole opening premise, by the way.
they're going to go to this planet.
They were on their way to rescue this cave-in at a mining facility. Mr. Strong Data gets in there. Boy, it looks so much like a Doctor Who set. It's just blowing my mind.
Yeah, we still have... That's the thing, is we still have human miners in the 24th century.
It's just us.
These people seem pretty okay, to tell you the truth. They're just sitting down. Well, we had a sandwich about 20 minutes ago. It had turkey in it, and the tryptophan's really kicking in.
All right, we're going to get to see Data be Superman for a second, which I always love. Get that debris out of the way. Boom, yeah.
Look where you throw that, buddy.
Before it's like, I got a little rock.
Oh. A dead little girl. You know, she's our age now.
Yeah, probably.
We should call her up and get her on the show. Whoever this is.
Like, my dad made me do it, and I'm still mad at him.
How old do you think she is?
That 6, 7, 8,
Huh.
right around, maybe, 6. I want to say 6 or 7. So she's definitely our age.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, contact with that girl.
Certainly you can't bring her back to life.
I can't.
So I really don't think this little girl's mom would mind that Riker used the powers to bring her back.
But her mom's not around.
Yeah, do you see any other Asian miners in there? Because I don't.
We're talking. This is like some kid that the mining colony would be responsible for.
Maybe that was their canary. They put her in the equivalent of like a
That's
cage.
just Lupita. She's how we knew it was gonna explode. Oh boy.
Save that child.
You were right not to try.
You were right not to try.
To that power, number one.
When I used it before, what happened? I saved most of our bridge crew.
So Riker's
Yeah, they
really
could've gotten
angry.
out of that.
This was the test that really turns Riker against his bet with Picard.
Hard.
The biggest flaw in this whole thing is Riker could just be like, you know what, I'm going to snap my fingers, and Picard is now instantly okay with whatever the hell I do.
Or B,
there you go.
Picard doesn't know that he has Q powers.
Yeah, just every time I use it, Picard's like, well, that was good fortune.
That looks amazingly chroma keyed right there.
Yeah.
Wow, I don't know if it's just it's a high def manipulation.
The look of it between Riker and Yar there.
Yeah, why are they hating on him? And this is great because he's about to, spoilers, he's about to give everybody presents.
Knowing the decision you face, I've permitted you this gap.
Of course, Jean-Luc.
To you, I give absolute moral certainty in all situations. My God, I've never felt like this before.
Why not, sir? You helped make me a bridge officer. Acting ensign.
All right, he stays.
Look, that kid gave him.
Now there's something you could fix, Riker. Go back in time and change that.
All right.
Meeting on the bridge. No one brought bagels and coffee? Jeez.
Like no other bridge officers either. It's, there's just...
Sit down, everybody.
Yeah, we're all the backup staff at Mission Ops. And
it's Super Christmas.
Well.
The only one missing, we haven't mentioned it, Troy is not in this episode because they dropped her off on a planet on the way.
Perhaps they're all remembering that old saying, power corrupts.
How long does she stay on that
And
planet?
absolute
power corrupts absolute.
Wait, why did they drop her off on a planet? They just
She's
stranded
visiting her
her?
mama.
Yep.
Oh.
There's, so one of the things about this show is they don't always have every cast member in every show. Like Worf didn't make it to the vaccine planet. Like, what was that called? Code of Honor?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think anybody wanted to be in that episode. That was a bad episode.
I mean, Geordi was here, but he hasn't played a major role.
Let's keep in mind that
No, neither is Worf for that matter.
Except for jumping.
Yeah. Well, Geordi had a big part in the Naked Now, if you want to go.
Yeah, they're still trying to figure out who's going to be the popular characters and casts and stuff to highlight.
have a quality of growth.
The reception was most people felt that the plot was predictable.
No.
Describing Riker being written as so paint by numbers, the color is practically dripping off the screen. Which, the color looks great in HD, by the way.
Truly your friend's brother.
Oh, Oh, this is... I love Q. He does these little bits.
Yep. I've always wanted a cloak like that to wear to school.
Let us pray.
He could almost pull the St. Francis. Is that guy that has all the animals with him?
Francis of Assisi.
Have a couple of squirrels coming out of his pockets.
Francis de Sissy.
Da Sissy?
Francis de Sissy.
Come in search of what humanity is.
Humanity! A cross means nothing to me. I'm an enlightened man of the 24th century. Hooray.
Hey, the Huffington Post said that John Delancey did a brilliant job at this role.
Well, Huffington Post didn't exist when this was on originally.
No, this was... I think it was... I'm reading off of Wikipedia here, and it just says that...
John Delancey did do a brilliant
job. I'm sorry, folks. I gotta pull that one back. When Will Wheaton reviewed the episode for Huffington Post after the series ended, he said John Delancey in his role as Q as brilliant casting and masterful acting. I do have to say, Q does have a certain personality to him. I don't think any other person can bring in.
They'd like.
Yeah.
He's kind of a jerk in person, though. I went to see him at a convention, and the first thing he said when people were coming up was, "No hugs. I don't do hugs."
Wait, Will Wheaton or Delancey?
Delancey.
So Will Wheaton wraps his arms around anybody who comes
He's the
to his
king of the
table.
hug. Will Wheaton is the actor that plays Wesley.
Feel free to cooperate with it.
In real life, we're actually a very nice guy. Met him, talked with him about some of his other stuff.
Who? Will Wheaton?
Yes.
Will Wheaton.
He was in a movie that was an adaptation of Peter Pan with my friend Melanie.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he played John of the Darling Children.
Shall I guess your dreams?
It's kind of cool. It takes place in Los Angeles, and Neverland is an abandoned park.
So this person who is playing not Will Wheaton.
Please.
Wesley, he's about to be transformed into an
The
adult.
look Riker gives him.
Yeah. That right there is a 25-year-old actor by the name of William A. Wallace.
William Wallace.
Doesn't look anything like the real Will Wheaton. That's what they should have done in the digital remaster, is take a few pictures of adult Will Wheaton and CGI him into that outfit.
It worked for Star Wars. Data refuses the gift of becoming human.
Yes, sir. That is true. But I never wanted to...
I'm not
It
ready
would have
for
been.
words.
That's.
Go ahead.
I mean, that would have been true magic, is just to make Data suddenly human with just a flick of the wrist.
Never be so to me.
The human would have died that second, except for magic.
This above all, to thine own self be true.
Yeah, there you go.
Picard, we're going to give
Picard's
him
all
a genuine
stick that
French accent.
Stick that in your pipe and smurp it.
Now, originally, when Picard got flustered, he was supposed to rant in a French accent.
I know what you...
Which I thought would have been interesting with a guy with a Brit accent.
Well, Jean-Luc Picard.
Oh, okay. Watching this as a kid, my mind was blown. It's like, he looks great without his visor. That's amazing.
This isn't the first time, because that first episode, Encounter at Farpoint, he was trying on his new ones.
No, well, yeah, but he had the contact lens in, so he still obviously looked blind.
Gosh, look how young
He's
he
scanning
is.
the room.
It's like, and there's Tasha. Wow.
I'd love to ride that bike.
Wow.
He's just thinking, am I really the only black guy on the bridge?
Well, Worf counts.
I'm uncomfortable with this line of questioning. So we're going to go back to Tasha. So Tasha was respected by a lot of the members. If you remember, she has a, I suspect, an ongoing relationship with Data.
Yeah.
I don't think that was a one-time affair from The Naked Now. That
I
was
agree.
episode 2. Only because, as we see in the future, there's sustained reference indirectly by Data to his affection to that character.
Heck of a wipe there.
Yeah. He looks so cool with those glossy
Cataracts on,
things.
yeah.
Oh, man, I just thought that was the coolest thing.
Oh, and here's our first non-Worf Klingon that we've seen on the show so far.
Oh, jeez. And they did just such a terrible job at it. I mean, the character looks great, the makeup's believable, but I just didn't understand the animal sex here. Yeah, that's what they do. Wait, what?
I don't know.
No, you can't just blurt that out.
I just said animal sex. Come on.
Herpes.
Furries.
Happy.
Oh.
What did you think I said?
I thought you said herpes.
Furries.
We're all just going to go over the fact that Worf's idea of foreplay is literally knocking this woman head over heels down the side of the bridge.
Well, I am not okay with that, but it's just...
She's from a world now alien to me.
Poor Worf.
Is this your idea of sex?
He said it.
Personal.
No place for it in my life now.
Oh, boy.
There's no place for it in my life now. I'm
Really?
becoming
Because there's a whole line of guys forming right behind you.
Oh, he's the first to go.
Oh, man.
It's actually really funny because all of these gifts strike a character flaw in every single person. So Wesley really wants to just live out on his own and be an adult, but he can't even do that for himself. Data was offered the chance to be human, something he knew he could never have, but he knew he'd be cheating himself. Worf can't even make love to a member of his species because he's not part of the culture anymore, and he's really upset about that.
Until later on when he finally does.
Yeah, but, that's 10, 12 years in the future
Again,
from this point.
The first season of this deserves a comic series or something that takes place between the episodes that explores where these characters were in their lives.
To tempt a human to join you.
You know what would have been an interesting gift to Wesley and Dr. Crusher's if they brought her husband and his dad back.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's something they both would have wanted and probably would have refused.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, that is...
Matt, you're a genius. I want to see a Jack Crusher series.
I'm surprised that actually hasn't happened, because you kind of assumed that would happen, because they set that up.
Would it be...
I mean, Picard, it's Picard's best friend, so he wouldn't really object.
So it would be Will Wheaton as Jack Crusher and Benedict Cumberbatch as Picard.
Throw in the TARDIS and we got a deal.
Yeah. Jessica Chastain as Beverly Crusher.
Oh my goodness. So, wait. We were just blabbing. I think everything's back to normal all of a sudden. What happened?
Yeah, Q had failed to tempt. Q had failed to tempt him, so the Q continuum was like, no, you kind of messed this one up.
We just sucked him back into the continuum.
Pretty much.
And everything's been returned to normal. Picard's got this "I told you so" grin. That's too bad. And they're warping away.
And we want to thank our guests for coming on, and
our lucky prize winner. He's giving us a thumbs up.
Yep.
He's not dead. So good. We don't have to poke him with a stick.
All right. So that was Hide and Q.
Yeah, and make sure to tune in. If you would like to guest on the show, please email us and we can Skype you in. Or we can also read your questions and comments on the air. And I would like to say have a good evening. Goodbye, Matt. Goodbye, Jem.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Oh,
Bye,
he's waving.
Yeah.
Mystery guest is waving. Bye. So you're the guest.
So Sasha, what is Star Trek?
Hi,
Next
I'm
Generation?
the guest.
So Sasha, what is Star Trek? We're only in the first season right now, so there's a lot that's coming down the line. Let us know what episode you might like to appear on, and we'll see if we can schedule you in on the show.
You can find this podcast at Google Play, iTunes, SoundCloud, and Libsyn.com. Music credits include As Colorful as Ever by Broke for Free, Changing by Vortex. Music heard in this podcast can be found at freemusicarchive.org.
If you'd like to email the show, you can email us at nextgenfirstgenpod@gmail.com.
Audio engineering was done by Sascha Schaudies. Our graphic designer is Matt Kirshner, who you see a lot of our content on our Facebook and webpage. And a big thank you to Patrick Delmore for networking and coordinating with other podcast hosts to make sure the good word gets out.
Do you have a podcast that you think people should be listening to? Send us your promos and we'll play them on the show. I've been Patrick Delmore.
And this is Sascha Schaudies.
And if you liked this episode, the next episode is already waiting for you on Facebook at Next Generation's First Generation.
Thank you very much for listening and have a wonderful day.
Good night.